Have you ever walked into a house and thought there's no way anybody lives here, then realized they actually do? Hoarder jobs are not your average junk removal. They're a whole different beast. So today we are pulling back the curtain and we're showing you how we get, how we price, and how we conquer these monster-sized jobs.
And we just got done doing a $50,000 hoarder house job. So if you want to make big money, you got to tackle them big jobs. And we're going to show you how to do it. Now, if you want to land big hoarder jobs, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Now, there are 5 stages of hoarding. The first one is the mild hoarder, the little bit of clutter, the stacks of paper stacked everywhere, but you can still walk room to room.
Stage 2 is when 1 or 2 rooms become unusable and they also have an attachment to items.
Then there's stage 3, where clutter blocks rooms and exits. You can smell the odor and you can see pests and mold.
Stage 4 is extreme filth with rotting food, animal waste, and human waste.
Then there's stage 5, where it's so nasty, so filthy, smells so bad, but it's big money. And when you show up, you can barely even open the door. And when you walk in the house, you can't walk nowhere. You got to climb over the junk.
So stage 4 and 5 is when we typically get called in.
Now you're probably wondering, how do I get these jobs?
Now the first thing you want to make sure of is that you have a website that has a page that is dedicated to only hoarder houses. Make sure on that page you have rich keywords and that you mention all the cities that you do hoarder house cleanups in.
And make sure on that page it's easy for the customer to call you. Make sure you got a call to action. And also make sure on your Google business profile you have service listings as hoarder house cleanups, hoarder house cleanouts,
and hoarder house specialists. If you want more tips on how to grow your business, make sure you hit like and subscribe so you'll always be notified when we post a video.
Now the tools that we use to tackle these hoarder jobs are, the first thing you want is a Tyvek suit. Now a few other tools you want in the toolbox when it comes to hoarder houses is an N95. Now these will work on stage 1 and 2 hoarder situations, but when it gets to stage 3, 4, and 5, you definitely want a respirator so you can protect yourself from mold and feces.
So one of the best tools you can't live without when tackling a hoarder job is a snow shovel.
Now, why do we like snow shovels so much? It makes the job way easier. It's way better than grabbing it and loading it. All we do is scoop and go.
Now, tarps are another handy tool when dealing with hoarder houses.
Now, the best place to get tarps is Harbor Freight. They're super cheap. And what we do is lay the tarps down, throw the trash on top of the tarp, and then we taco it and haul it out.
And that enables us to get a lot of trash out very quickly.
Now, another thing that we use are trash cans. We have a bunch of trash cans at the house, and we use these over contractor bags because these aren't cheap, and this is free. And it's all about saving money and putting more profit in your pocket.
You definitely need to make sure you have some gloves. And if you're cleaning out a hoarder house that has needles, make sure you have the thick gloves, because the last thing you want is to get poked with a needle. Now, if you're doing a smelly hoarder house, this will be your best friend. It is Vicks Vapor Rub. Now, if you put some of this on your finger and place it under your nose, you would be surprised how much more pleasant that hoarder house is gonna smell.
Now, when you're doing these hoarder houses, always keep an eye out for hidden treasures. You never know.
You wouldn't think that a hoarder house would have anything you would want, but you would be surprised sometimes at the things you will find.
Now here's a perfect example of a good find. My buddy was cleaning out a hoarder house, and guess what was in the closet? $6,000 worth of silver coins.
So now let's get to the good stuff. How do we price these hoarder jobs?
Now we're going to a hoarder situation right now, and we're taking you with us. Now here are the beginning stages of being a hoarder. And if you can see, the living room is not that bad, but that kitchen smells horrible. And I would say this is a stage 2 hoarder situation and borderline 3 because of the funky smell. And if you can see in the bedroom, you can't even lay on the bed. And inside the bathroom, it's pretty bad too. And on a job like this, one thing that we do is we make sure that the hoarder is gone before we load anything up. It makes your job way more easier.
Now, as you can see, that hoarder job was not so bad. But one thing you definitely want to make sure you do is show up in person when quoting a hoarder house job. Never do it through pictures.
So you want to know how to price those big jobs, those big hoarder jobs? Let's say the house is 1,500 square feet. And there's 4 feet tall of trash in there, and you want to know how many cubic yards it is? Well, this is how you're going to figure it out. Now, all you're going to do is ask ChatGPT, hey, ChatGPT, I'm working on a house that's 1,500 square feet, and there is trash all in the building, and it's 4 feet tall. How many cubic yards is in there? And boom, there it is. Now, if you can see, in 90 seconds, it broke everything down for you, and there is 222 cubic yards in there. Now, what you want to do is divide 222 by how many cubic yards your vehicle is or trailer is. And ours is 12 cubic yards, so it will come out to 18.5 loads. And remember, this is a guesstimate because not everything's gonna be 4 feet. You might walk into the bathroom and it's to the ceiling. So this is a good rough ballpark. And remember, you always want to give yourself some wiggle room when it comes to hoarder houses. So you might want to say between 18.5 loads to 23.5 loads, just to be safe.
And the reason you want to give yourself some wiggle room is hoarders put things everywhere. Every little nook and cranny will be covered with something.
Now, we charge by the load and also by the stage. A stage 1 hoarder situation is not going to be the same price as a stage 5. Now, I've been to a hoarder house where there was rats running around the house while we were picking up the trash, and guess what? We hit them with that price, and we charge $1,900 per load. So don't be scared to hit them with that price.
You always want to make sure that it's worth your time. You want to make sure you add hazard pay because these jobs take longer, and with hazmat suits and masks, they get very hot.
Now, you might think $1,900 per load is a lot of money. Yes, it is, but the situation was really bad. We normally charge around $200 to $300 extra per load on our full load price for hoarder jobs.
So whatever your full load price is, tack on $200 to $300 extra depending on what the situation is.
Now, every hoarder situation is different. Sometimes you got to rent some dumpsters. Sometimes you got to hire more manpower. So make sure you calculate that in your pricing.
And sometimes there's stairs, or sometimes it's not an easy walk to the truck.
And when it comes to them situations,
you got to charge more money. Sometimes hoarder situations are not inside a house, but they are outside in a big field. When it's a situation like this, we will typically walk around the property and calculate how many loads we think it will be.
Now leave a comment down below and let me know, how do you charge for hoarder jobs?
Hoarder jobs are often very sensitive situations. Emotions are often running high. Check out this phone call.
And I do think her little dog has peed in the house quite a bit. When I told her that yesterday, she said, oh, no, it's only one spot. And, she's very much in denial. So I'm not even sure if she's going to let us go through this.
You always want to be compassionate and understanding to the person you're talking to on the phone because you have no idea how bad their situation is. So if you want to see a video of us tackling a huge hoarder job, click on this video right here. This isn't just junk removal, it is life-changing work. Hoarder jobs are intense, emotional, but extremely satisfying when done right.
Now, if you want to see more behind the scenes junk jobs, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next one.
And if you haven't yet, make sure you grab your tickets to the Junk Expo.